sign.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyone wish to do the invocation? No? Roll call. Lisa Briggs.
Yeah.
Myself is here. Hank Mask. Absent. Robert Nebraga.
Here.
Chief Steve Rhodes.
Jerry.
Okay. Item number 4 is approval of the board meeting
Minutes.
June 11th, 2014. Sorry, I printed out the wrong one.
There are 2 corrections under 16. Instead of change, it should be chance. And motion is missing an O.
Motion to approve the minutes from June 11th.
I'll second.
There's been a motion to set the meeting minutes of June 11th, 2014 with the changes being noted. The change on item 16, the change was changed to chance. And the last line, Robert made a motion rather than voting.
You can make a motion.
Okay. Any discussion here?
Yes, next time print the corrected ones.
Okay. You want to read it?
No.
Okay. Next time I'll bring the correct ones. I'll make darn sure. There has been a motion and seconded, and no comment from the audience or from the board. All in favor to accept the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then the minutes have passed.
And I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Old business. This will be the election of officers, set date for chief's evaluation, and debit card authorizations of charge accounts and et cetera. And the video camera, Jerry Harris as videographer. Those are the 4 items. Is there anything else that you wanted to add on the old business, Risa?
Let's see, what was it we were talking about? Probably sending a letter to Susan Shepherd asking for the final report.
Okay. Okay, I guess we'll start in with the election of officers.
I nominate George for president.
I thought I'd recommend you. We have a nomination on the floor. We need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's been a nomination for president for the board, naming myself, George, as the nominee. I will accept. Okay.
Shall we vote and approve you?
Any other comment or remarks?
No, we'll just vote to approve you.
Okay, then All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next person in line, we need to elect the vice president,
I would nominate Robert for vice president.
and I will second that.
I'll accept.
Okay, any comments or remarks? Being none, we will go ahead and vote. All in favor of selecting Robert as vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next person on the list will be the treasurer.
It's secretary treasurer.
Okay, secretary treasurer, which I will recommend Risa Rakes as secretary treasurer.
I'll second.
Okay, I accept.
And any comments or remarks? Hearing none, we will go ahead and vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. And the last one, what are we going to term Hank?
He's communications officer.
Just communications officer? Okay, we're gonna need a motion for communications officer.
I nominate Hank to be the communication officer.
Okay, nomination for Hank, we need a
Second.
second. Okay, any comments from the,
I have a question. Is he going to be able to carry out any of the responsibilities as communication officer?
As of last meeting, he said he will. He specifically said he would, but what was important to him right then was his, he got married and he went on his honeymoon, and he brought that up at the last. Yeah, he said, he goes, listen, I would be here, but, so yeah, he did say he would have no problem working with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
and so,
And we will hold him to that.
so,
In the meantime, I'll keep that in.
as noted by Jerry, we have a motion on the floor, and we don't have an answer from Hank to accept, so we're just gonna go ahead and vote him in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what happens when you're not here.
He should have been here, huh? Okay. We need a vote to accept Hank as the communications officer. We got a vote?
Yep, go ahead.
Yes, I didn't hear it.
Aye.
Aye. That's the end of the election of officers. Okay, the next thing we have is set a date for the chief's evaluation. That will be probably, well, any day you want to set it, Risa.
Well, what's good for you, Steve?
Well, we have, it could be up to, you know, the board members and Steve. Steve, do you have any particular day?
No, I do not.
Okay.
What's good for you, Robert?
Thursday or Fridays, or any day after 6:30 PM gives me time to drive there.
Okay, here's the way we'd like to do it. We would have the evaluation 1 hour before the regular meeting. It will have to be a special meeting after, or a special meeting, and then we will close that session, do the evaluation, and then reopen it. I think that's the way it went. I would have to check on that.
Yeah, we have to put a special meeting publication in the paper.
Correct. It will have to be done, and I'll have to check out the exact rules on that, okay? So,
After the meeting would be best for me, just because of work.
right, well, if we do it on the 17th or the 24th, which would you prefer?
Either one.
Either
Are
one?
those both Wednesdays?
No, those are Thursdays.
Oh, either one on a Thursday.
Okay, Thursday or Friday,
Mm-hmm.
okay? We have a choice between the 18th and 25th, that's a Friday, or the 17th and 24th.
Okay.
Risa,
17th.
17th? Steve, the 17th, okay with you?
What time are you doing this? This is,
We're
that's our July.
we're gonna have a special meeting opening at 6.
what's the
And
time?
then we will close with the evaluation and then reopen after
Yeah, because
that.
that's a training
That's
session.
the drill nights on it from 7 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, you
That
can't do
will
it,
work.
you can't do it in a training session, so,
That's every Thursday too, isn't it?
so
Well, we have either the 18th or the
so
25th.
the 18th,
Okay. Will that work for you?
that's the Friday.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Next week, next Friday after this.
6 PM, you said?
Yeah, we're gonna set aside for the special session and training session afterwards. Okay.
Are you entertaining questions from the floor?
Very good.
Can you give us some clarification about how this works? Since you're calling a special meeting, does that mean the public will be able to have some input regarding the evaluation and any determination that might follow from that?
I will have to check on it, but from what I've been able to understand, that there is no public input on an evaluation. And we will open it on a regular special meeting, then close temporarily from the special meeting, go into the evaluation, and then reopen after the evaluation.
So what is the purpose of having the special meeting?
Stay legal.
Is that to present whatever action you're going to take
Well,
after the evaluation?
there may be things that will be discussed that should not be discussed openly. For one thing, that we would not want to speak to
Unless you
that,
request,
nor,
unless you request it to be at a public meeting.
well, you could ask it, but then still, we would probably have to look at the situation.
We went through this before. You can have an evaluation. I believe all you do is go into executive session and hold it and then come back out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
That's-
And
about.
it's fine with me. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, because normally those are held in a closed door session. So even if you did come in and were allowed to sit in, you would not be allowed to ask or submit any comments. Because that's the rules.
Okay.
I can
Okay,
check and make
that's
sure.
in terms of the
I-
evaluation, but then I'd like to know what follows the evaluation. Is there a determination by the board as to whether you are continuing to have Steve as the fire chief or not? And if there is,
This is an evaluation.
okay, so there's no action coming following the evaluation?
I don't believe there is.
That's
We will
what
be
I'm trying to find out.
We will be setting certain parameters. This is what you're allowed to do as chief, this is what you're not allowed to do. So, you know, we have to start setting guideposts, so what we will accept is saying, well, you've crossed the line and nobody knows where the line is, doesn't cut
Okay,
it. So this is what we're going to establish, we're gonna review performances and different things of that nature. And
George, if I'm not mistaken, it would probably be a lot easier for the board if you did it during a regular board meeting, like next month, and just announce that there'll be an executive session. And have that executive session, which the public is not invited to, except the newspaper is allowed to be here.
That's correct.
To be present. And after that executive session, you go back in, continue your board meeting, and
that's one way of doing it, but
you
we're
would
gonna,
announce at that point, all in favor, whatever, you're gonna retain Steve as the chief, or you're not, or whatever, and I don't believe you have to discuss with the public anything that was discussed in that meeting.
we're also going to incorporate training session for the new members. We need to bring them up to speed. Our intent was to go back after the evaluation, go back into regular session, and then go into training. And the general public
Well, it's up to you. I just
can
got
stay, or
The
they
shortcut of
can,
the special meeting, but if you wanna go through all that, that's up to you.
well, we'll do it whatever way is the right way. So, we're gonna do it on the 18th. We're gonna open in a special session and go into an executive session for the evaluation, for the chief's evaluation, and then close from that, come back in and open it again, and go into a training session.
The bylaws in our pretty much say exactly what my duties are and what I'm allowed to do and what not to do. Is there gonna be some changes in that? Is that what you're saying?
Nope.
Okay, good. That's what I thought I heard him say.
All I want to do is make sure you understand, we understand, so we're all on the same page. This is not something that we're gonna come in and take an axe and start chopping, okay?
Oh, yeah, I've been through evaluations before.
Okay, so, anyway,
I might evaluate your evaluating powers.
I'll take it for you.
I might even evaluate how you evaluate, because I've been through a lot of them.
Okay, well, that's okay.
All right,
This will be my first one.
there you go.
Okay.
I could help you do it, I've been through
Okay.
more than I like to think about.
The debit card seems to be an issue we have here. And Risa, do you have anything to put, as far as input on the debit card that you want to say at this moment?
Yeah, we need to get rid of it.
Okay. What do we do in place of it?
We simply go to the way we used to do it and the way that's been recommended by Susan in the Department of Revenue, where you just use accounts,
Okay.
because we have accounts set up pretty much all over town and other places.
Okay. Who would be authorized to sign for those charge cards, or charge accounts rather?
On accounts,
Yeah, on the charge accounts. Would we have to have designees, or would we be,
well, if
In other words,
if we're
if-
going to
if-
just have accounts, yeah, because Steve, of course, has to be able to
okay,
go.
if he can't go,
Then
who does he
A
designate?
board member.
Okay,
Anybody who's
I
on-
think he's talking about a Visa charge card is what he's talking about.
Right,
Is
but
that what
that's
you're
not-
talking about?
no,
No,
No.
charges that we have accounts around town.
like we have an account at Staples, and we have an account at
with-
Co-op,
with
and we have an account at
repairs and
Postal.
different things of that nature.
How do we find out who we have accounts for? Is that good
He has a
information?
list.
She
I
has?
have a list.
I don't have I have a list of vendors we've used in the past. I really don't know if we all have. I'm finding out every day.
Well, the other thing we need to do, Steve, is we need to set up whatever is needed, whether it's Rick's Medical Supply or Parkway Pharmacy or, you know, any number of places that we don't already have. It's just easier.
All right, I already expressed my views on this. It limits my ability to get us a deal, basically. If something comes up with a sale or something, and I have to act on it, or I do certification, recertification, these guys do their EMS. I use a charge card to do that, because they come up at different times during the year. In
And-
fact,
but you don't-
Susan Shepherd's recommendation was actually to have a Visa card, not to eliminate the debit card. But
Well, but that's a different thing. A charge card is different than a debit.
I know it is.
So, I know, because we've talked
We
about.
can always visit that at a later date to see how this works, if this doesn't work, and,
So you want this right now? I just want you to appreciate that each time you do this, you make my job a little more difficult, and it's making
Well,
it harder for me to remain in this
let
position.
me explain
I'm just
something.
letting you know that.
If what you're saying you wanna do, and you wanna take advantage of the deal, there's nothing that says you can't call myself or Risa, and if it's less than $500, we can authorize that, and you can take a check and go ahead and do it.
I'm not, I got a few problems for that right now. For example, if I wanna buy a roll of paper towels, how many dollars do I have to spend for you to give me permission to go buy office supply or something? Do I have to check with you for every single thing I buy?
No,
What's the limit?
we're gonna probably set it at around $500,
Okay, that's what it is right now.
okay?
Okay.
But don't you go in, like I said, can't you go into Staples or Office Depot and buy paper towels? I
Right
mean,
now, well, we could. It's not the least expensive place to buy it, of course.
Maybe,
No, well, Sherm's or Big Lots, what, is,
Yeah.
I don't
this
have an
is,
account insurance.
well, we can always ask for one.
yeah, that's
They're
my
not that
point.
hard to set up.
That's my point. We need to know what places you frequent that you would, it would work out better.
I personally don't believe that we need to be putting our financial information in every vendor around town either. I don't think it's safe, personally. That's just another reason also. And there's places that pop up that we don't have accounts with. I'm dealing with people Actually, my most frequent vendors we do. I don't know.
Well, let's see how this works out.
Well,
I guess here's my question. I understand where he's coming from and I understand where the board's coming from.
Okay.
But if he runs into a situation like, such as the paper towels, I mean, he's got a good point as far as money, but what happens if he has to go someplace special, needs this item and he doesn't have any way to get it? And it's under 500.
Well, there's generally somebody here that can take care of that. We've had purchases being made up to $1,000 per month on this. That's $12,000. Our total budget last year was what, 43,000?
so what are you saying? That I misused that part, is that what
No,
you're saying?
I'm not saying that at all.
Then what
I'm
are
just
you
saying
saying?
that this card, you were authorized to basically charge up to $1,000 per month.
I was, and I haven't done that either unless I got approved over 500 like I'm supposed to.
But
And the problem it has been that I just need to get the invoice and attach it to the bank statement here every month.
Well, yeah, see, that's been the other problem, is because like the Post-it notes and Susan's squawking and things, we can't always figure out some of the charges and what it is and blah, 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 and it's been very confusing.
Yeah, I know, all she said was, give me the bank statement, I'll attach the invoice to it and it'd be done. And like, just like we did yesterday, as a matter of fact, or 2 days ago. I
Okay.
gave you
Well,
the
we had
invoice
one.
with the mail. Exactly, we had one this month.
yeah, and so we'll see how it works. If this is not written in stone, we can adjust.
Let me ask a question to Robert. Do we have an account with Costco?
Not as far as I know.
And if we went in to do one, would it be that difficult?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Why?
Because they don't work off of that way. You can establish POs that are paid with so many days. I've never had to sign someone up personally, but you can do that.
Okay, because I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Costco a lot of times has
Yeah, they
cheaper
do
deals.
bill, yeah, they do bill off of POs.
Okay,
But it goes up, the price goes up. Also, they charge you a handling fee of, I believe it's 1.5%. It doesn't matter who you are, because we do it to the college, and when I used to be on the front end, that was something I handled, and it's 1.5 or 1.75%.
For the privilege of having a charge card or
For
a
the
charge
privilege of
account.
having an open charge account that they send you a bill for that's payable on a certain day.
Okay.
well, like I said, would it be easier to have a credit card instead of a debit card?
What do you think about that?
It'd be exactly the same to me. Would it be easier for you? You're the treasurer.
Yeah, because on a credit card, you see the statement and what it's
That'd be-
for.
That'd be fine, and that's what I thought.
The
was gonna
debit card,
happen.
we don't see that.
I talked with Susan about this before, because I know that you guys said, hey, you're gonna pull a debit, but the second part of her recommendation was that we have a charge card of some sort.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
there's times when I gotta be able to charge something.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and we can get a charge card through community credit, can we not?
I think so.
Let's go ahead and.
And did we have a Visa before, Gary? A Visa charge card?
Because it's just, you know, when you get a statement, Steve, from a charge card, it's all there,
Right.
all there.
And we don't have to do any additional, other than to attach the statement
Yeah.
at the end of the
The
month.
problem has arisen with the debit card where it's just hit and miss.
Is that acceptable to you, Robert?
Yeah, as long as he has a way, if he has to purchase something, I hate to see him in a pinch and all this, and
Well,
he can't get it.
I'm not here to make his job harder, okay?
I understand.
Even though mine is almost impossible.
So we're going to look into that tomorrow.
You want me to do it?
You wanna talk to Brad?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, well, tomorrow. I'll do it.
Okay, well, I think I should be the one doing it. Don't you, Reason?
Either, okay, if you have time.
Because I'm sure I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be asked to sign for it.
Okay,
So,
and that'll be tomorrow?
yeah, I'll go over and see Brad,
Okay.
okay?
Mhm.
So,
All right. I just think it'll make it easier. I think the next thing, George, was Jerry.
okay, what did you have in mind with video camera and Jerry Gabbard, the videographer? Do we need to vote on that, or just assign that position.
Well, how do you feel about that? Do you want to be voted in, or shall we just assign it, or?
Well, I was never really voted in as web manager.
No, that's true.
I guess you essentially appointed me to the position, so if you want to do the same as videographer, that's okay with me.
Okay, thank you.
Unless anyone feels that both positions really do require a nomination and vote by the board. I don't know.
Okay.
And you're going to be able to put these on YouTube and stuff? then,
Yes.
Okay, fine.
I have something I would like to ask you.
Yeah.
Could you kind of describe the camera that we purchased? Do you feel it will do everything we need it to do for the board and for the
Okay.
district?
I'm still becoming acquainted with the camera. I did try taking a couple of short videos and then putting them onto my computer to see what format they were in and how to work with them. And I had to actually download the manual from the internet because nowadays electronics typically do not come with manuals. And I found out something that somewhat bothered me about the camera. I don't know if it's the case with other cameras, but it appears that with this one, it limits the shooting time to roughly 20 minutes. It saves it as a file and it keeps recording. So you get a series of multiple files, but I have a program on my computer where I'm able to combine them all into a single video that I can then upload to YouTube, so that if people do go on the internet to view it, they don't have to view 20-minute segments, load up a new file each time. It would just be a single file.
One other thing, what about the audio pickup? Is it very clear? Is it?
We'll find out with this video. The microphones are on top, and I do believe they get a little bit of noise from the camera. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it turns out with this one.
With ours, identical to this, when I took my riding lesson and we were down at the other end of the arena, it picked up what the instructor was saying very clearly.
So
Right.
it does have good range.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really good.
And this does have up to 52 times optical zoom, which is an incredible range of zooming in and zooming out.
So
That's a terrific feature, and it's a very small, lightweight camera. So it'd be easy to take it. If Steve ever wants any training sessions videotaped, I would certainly be able to come in and do that. If they're doing something special.
I have a question.
go ahead.
This camera's not gonna be bandied around, he's gonna be in charge of it, and it's not gonna be loaned around, is that correct?
He's the videographer. So
Okay,
they
I
will
mean, that
have
was
to-
my thing, because
they
it's
will
too
have to-
easy. It
Yeah.
just should be,
Well,
my opinion.
I guess the board would have to determine where it's going to be stored, and if Steve's having a training session or going somewhere, or a special firefighting situation where they would like to document it. Personally, I think it should be available for that.
Well, it is, and we're gonna plan on making it available.
Okay.
So this is not just for board meetings, it's for the benefit of the district.
Mhm.
Whether it be for the firefighters or whether it's for the district uses, whatever, it might even be used for the parade or
Right.
But that's
any
why,
PR function that we can do.
but that's why we have the inventory sheet for signing it out.
Correct.
Regarding that inventory sheet, every time I've gone to sign something out, there was nowhere for me to initial or put my name or anything. It just has dates and what the equipment is that's being taken out. So whoever's looking at the inventory log will not know who took an item out.
I'll fix that.
Okay.
We will address that.
Is the inventory log in the building?
Yes, it is.
And
Sits in the
does
office.
it take more than one person to sign something out?
No,
As far as old business is about, I'd like to know about the videos myself. What is the status of them? I've heard stories that they're all on YouTube. I've heard stories that we have copies. Our policy says I can get a copy of every one for $1 CD. I put in an information request act because I want to have a library of them for myself. So where are they? You told me the other day that all the ones that Bruce Epperson recorded are his private property, they're not our property. And he
Well-
filmed them right here in our room, so where are they all?
Bruce?
Can we give minutes to anybody?
I put a requisition in back in January for minutes and I never even got an acknowledgement.
Do you fill the form out?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, I never saw it.
I put a request in email to the website and not got a request, and that's been a good couple months.
Jerry had to fix that because it wasn't,
No, actually, they were being sent to George. And George, when I mentioned that there was a backlog of emails, said at the time that he didn't have the time to respond to them.
yeah, but before that.
Nor was I aware that I was getting any on there. And
Well, there,
quite honestly.
anything going to the board gets forwarded to the president of the board. If you would like that changed to have the emails from the community forwarded to the secretary, I could do that, if
think
that
it would
would
be
be
better.
better.
I think that would work much better.
Yeah,
Okay?
To have it go through the secretary, that way we have a channel right to the one person.
but
Okay.
part of the problem, Jerry, did you ever get the videos from Bruce? Because I know you were trying to.
Okay, all the videos that I received from Bruce are on the new computer. They're in a folder. Each person who has a login to that computer has access to those videos. There were some videos where Bruce was not present to videotape the sessions. There was one meeting where another person did the videotaping or videoing of it and did not give me a copy of that. And that person, I guess we don't have contact with anymore. And then there was the April meeting where Bruce gave us a DVD of that meeting, but the DVD is corrupted. The computer cannot read it. George, I mentioned that to you. You said you were going to contact Bruce, and I believe Bruce was ill or something, and you said he wasn't available.
Well, he's not available because he's at the VA and he only gets certain passes on the weekend sometimes,
Okay.
but that's not definite every week.
Okay,
So until he gets through his treatment regime,
right. So the April meeting is not available because I don't have a copy of it.
okay.
And
So,
I apologize to the community for the ones that I wasn't able to put up on YouTube. But there is a link to the videos that are on YouTube. It's on the minutes page at the bottom of the page.
And they're all on there now, except
Yeah,
for those two.
and the minutes are there also on the
Can you
minutes
record
page.
off the YouTube?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can.
I can record them personally.
yeah, if you have either Real Player or YouTube Downloader or any number of programs.
VLC, yeah, any of those.
You cannot do it through Google Chrome though, or through an Android device.
No.
All right, I'll try it.
we'll suffice
Well, I don't know yet, I'll try it.
the, okay.
Let's have a library, I don't wanna go on YouTube to be watching videos.
I have offered if anybody wants to bring in a large size flash drive, I could copy the videos more easily onto a flash drive than for somebody to try downloading them off of YouTube or burning them to a CD or DVD. And there shouldn't be any cost if you bring in your own flash drive. But be forewarned, I had to use a 32 gigabyte flash drive. It would not hold all the videos, so I had to copy a portion of them first and then go back and get the rest of them and copy them. So it probably would take a 64 gigabyte flash drive to get all the
Big
videos.
files.
So for the public right now to get Freedom of Information Act, what happens? What's the policy?
Well, it's available.
It's all on there.
It's already available. I
It doesn't
agree.
really matter if it's available, they
No.
should be able to request written records of everything that happens here. How do they do it? What is
Well, if
our
they can
policy?
go on the website, they can download it themselves.
I don't know if that meets the act, does it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
It
does.
does, are you sure?
sure does.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
was,
see, all minutes and everything can either be audio, video, or written.
and we're doing video and written.
Okay, because you have a policy in your bylaws that give a policy saying that people can request it. You give the first 100 pages free, and you give each of them a CD for $1 for each CD. So you're saying that you don't do that then? That we're
Well, we
supposed to-
can if
You
that's.
do it to a thumb drive or
We
a flash
can.
drive now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just wanna know what the policy is and who do we talk to?
Jerry.
Well,
No, Jerry's
that
not
was,
on the board.
that was another
We
thing
have
where
to- we
I
have
think
to
the
authorize
board needs to,
Right.
to vote
Right.
on who is going to be responsible for taking the requests, how, in what time frame they're
Exactly.
going to respond to the request, because, you know, as people here have been saying, their requests have not been answered. So things need to be clarified and then get done. And if you get a request and you would like me to go ahead and be the one, if they bring in a flash drive, I would be happy to do that. Or Risa, if you want to be the one to copy them to the flash drive,
Doesn't
you know,
matter.
whichever, I'm willing to do that.
Couldn't you incorporate something to make it easier for the person that's gonna downloading to the flash drive? If somebody, if you want a copy, mail it to this address with a self-addressed envelope with your thumb drive, flash drive? Wouldn't that be easier?
Rather than they're just coming in. Well,
Well, because
it might be.
you're always here. So it's like saying, I'll give you a $5 bill if you mail a self-addressed envelope to me. And it would serve the same purpose, so then whoever it goes to checks their mail, they see it, they go, oh, okay, it's right there.
Well, see, part of the problem with all of this is nobody's here on a regular basis. And that's why we tried real hard to do the webpage, because the webpage, realize, is a bonus. It's not mandatory,
Correct.
but it really does help people see the agendas, the minutes, the budget, the videos, everything's there. Everything is there. And like I said, we can make copies if people really want to copy, but they can copy it themselves. If they can't copy it themselves, then yes, we can try to accommodate them.
So if I'm getting this right, they have access to anything we go over at the meeting, which is covered on the minutes.
Yes,
So why wouldn't we get an aluminum box or whatever, mount it to the outside of the building and put 10 copies in there, and we can go by once a week and check it to see if people grab the 10, then it's always available to them, we cut every loophole out in between.
I have that because I said that to George, and we're going to put that up for like copies of the minutes and stuff.
Because that would
it'll just be
eliminate all
there.
that.
And we just, our problem was trying to figure out what to attach it to, and I thought the only thing out there was either the fence or the telephone pole.
You could do it to the fence right at the gate, and might do monthly minutes,
That's-
because you could just,
That's what we're going to do.
yeah.
Because I have one of those boxes that you can get for flyers if you go to see somebody's house for sale.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna put a thing on it that says minutes, and then they'll just be in there.
Is it covered so that's protected
Yes,
from
it
the
is,
elements?
yeah,
Right.
it is, yeah.
Okay.
And it'll
Is
just say
it
minutes.
after the minutes are approved? or-
Yeah, you can't
Yes.
put ones in unless they're approved.
Oh, okay.
That's
They have
right,
to be
that's,
approved.
that's the point.
I think the building would probably be better,
Good
because
point.
if you do it to the fence, you get kids that ride by on bikes, and sometimes they get like.
Well, the problem is the cement, see, that's why I thought, well, if they'd let us put on the telephone pole, that's wood.
You could epoxy a couple of hooks maybe to the.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're looking into that, because like I said, I've already got the box, and now that we're
Yeah, that would
approving
delete a lot of
minutes.
problems from anybody doing any extra legwork.
Yeah, and then we'll just put the approved minutes in every month, and people can get a
think-
copy if they need one.
I think we've covered that subject. Let's move
Yeah.
on to the treasury report.
Mhm.
Now, I'm new to this, so do I have to read all these right here?
That,
Just what we're gonna pay?
yep,
All right, here we go. Fire med, $310.
No, that's Bill's,
This is
recap.
to pay for July.
That's the bills for recap.
right.
I'm sorry.
Then, treasury report.
You want him to do that other one too?
Well, we need to know what we started with, what we spent,
Okay.
and what the balance is.
So basically, I don't wanna misquote a number.
Okay, well, that's just telling us exactly what's in each account.
Okay, so I just say
And it's,
count one.
well, it's just telling, this is all the check details that we've paid.
So
And
the,
then the other one is the total of all the budget.
I guess I'm not real
Okay.
familiar with this process, so I'm just trying to figure it out so I don't misquote.
Well, we handed this out last time anyway. That was what Susan presented at the last meeting.
Mhm. So, but this one here would have to change if we took money out of it.
It would change by the amounts that we paid, yes. But understand, since she has not finished the June final report, we don't know what those figures are yet because she didn't come tonight.
Okay, so should I not say anything off of this one? And just
Well, it
say-
hasn't changed,
Okay,
so,
okay. Then I'll just do that. And so you just want me to go share account and tell them the amount that's in there?
yeah, if you want, sure.
Okay, share account number one, it's a negative 383.17. Checking,
Yeah, right.
but how, I guess, how would I pay out of here?
Okay,
But nothing was paid out of here, so that's what I'm just trying to, everything seems to come out of account number two.
it does,
Okay,
yeah, because it's a general fund.
okay,
Okay,
so just go over account number two.
yeah, that's what we're dealing with tonight, because that's where the bills are gonna be paid, and that's where the bills were paid.
Okay, so we paid $2,316 out of account number two, is that,
Mhm,
that's
yep,
what I'm reading,
yep,
right?
yep.
And then what we paid was news review, $224.23. ComSpan, telephone company, $47.78. Cascade Fire Equipment, $1,790. Life Assist, $188.45. Umpqua Basin Water, $96.45. Douglas Electric, $175. Coastal Farm and Home, $191.98.
And now that's going to be,
These are the bills that we're gonna approve to get paid
Those.
tomorrow.
right,
Okay, the bills that we owe for July, Fire Med will be $310, Fire Med Com, $434, RISA reimbursement, $1449, George's reimbursement, $29.98, Douglas Electric, $2,100.
and there's.
Is that a year?
That's,
Okay,
yes,
that's what I'm
because we're
thinking, sure.
starting to prepay,
Okay.
exactly.
Liberty Mutual, which is workman's comp, is $489. Umpqua Basin Water, which also I believe is a yearly bill,
Yes, it
would
is.
be $1,157.40. News Review, $243. ComSpan is gonna be $47.78. Popeye's Pump Service, is that for septic or something?
Backflow, backflow.
Oh, okay, okay, $45. Consulting Incorporated, $593.25. Sean's Lubentune, $235.75. Napa, $336.18. National Volunteer Fire Council, $50. And Public Safety Center, $98.
And we need to add one more, which is workman's comp that you gave me, what was it, $391, Steve?
Yeah.
This is different than the Liberty Mutual?
It goes to Liberty Mutual also, but that's the biannual payment.
Okay, so it'll be for $489 with $391 on top of it.
No, we have to write two different checks.
Okay, okay,
So, and then mail them in two different checks,
okay,
or envelopes, so that because they go to different departments,
okay.
okay?
Mhm.
I ended up misplacing mine.
Here's the, you wanna talk about this later, the workman's comp?
No, go ahead, Steve, and kind of give us
Well,
a
George,
brief rundown on that.
George, we have to vote to pay the bills first.
Well, he was just gonna explain something,
Oh, is it part of this?
yes.
Okay.
You know what, you might wanna pay the bills first. Well, it's not, I don't think it's a laughing matter. Our workman's comp expired July 1st, and the bills weren't paid. So my firefighters aren't covered if we get put on a call right now. So I don't think that's a laughing matter. And,
It isn't.
Back in January, this board removed I was the guy doing the insurance, and they removed it from me and said that they'd take care of it. And it's kind of funny, because I told my wife, I bet that the thing's gonna be late in June. And she just reminded me that the other day.
Was it?
So I called the state, and every day that we pass June 30th, that we don't have this workman's comp, we're in violation. And it's a Class D misdemeanor. Every day is a separate offense. So actually, we're 9 separate offenses right now. If I would have turned her in, she said, "You want me to do it?" I said, "No, just screw our department up, and it's gonna be more money out of our pocket." So I called SDO because I wanted to see what kind of coverage we have from our supplemental health. Our supplemental health has a maximum of 10,000, but this workman's comp is for your salary compensation. If my firefighter gets hurt on duty and can't go to his regular job. So
Okay, well, where was the bill last meeting?
actually, this bill, the original bill for 49, the deposit for this year came in March. And I don't get the mail anymore, so where'd it go? And
Well,
then,
that's what I'm asking,
when I
where
opened-
was it?
I was here with George yesterday going through bills, we had 5 separate notices from them last month, and you guys waited till July 1st.
Where was the
I don't
bill?
understand it.
Where was the
We
bill?
had 3 envelopes.
There was 5 of them, George went through them all, and here, there's 2 of them I have, and I've taken care of.
Where-
That's the one that needs to go with the check. Where are they, exactly? You guys collect the mail, where are they?
Well,
Okay,
that's-
this got put in your mailbox.
You put it in there on July 2nd, and by the way, you usually date it and put who it came from, and all you said was, Steve, can you handle this?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I called you and said, who put that in my mailbox? And then you said you did. And then I said, well, I swear our workman's comp, doesn't that expire at around June? And you said, yeah, it's already expired. Well, that is not satisfactory to me at all. That just pisses
But
me
like I
off.
said, where?
Why didn't you say
is
something
the bill?
yesterday?
I did say something yesterday. Where is the bill? That's what I said. You guys did this walking mailbox out here. I can't even get my own mail. Where is the bill? And who does the insurance? You told me in January that it's not my responsibility to do insurance anymore. And the first time a bill comes, it doesn't get paid. So who does it?
Well, my question still is, if it came in March, where did it go?
Exactly.
Well,
I don't get the mail anymore. Where did it go? And then it came in June again, and it came in and it came in. And he showed them to me yesterday. So where did it go?
Well,
one came the day before,
God.
and the dates are on the envelopes. I
And it
don't know
doesn't
why
even
was
matter where
okay.
the hell it
This
goes.
was,
My firefighters aren't covered. You know what the workman's comp lady told me? She said, call them right now, tell them to turn their pagers off, don't go on calls because they're not covered. And my volunteers aren't too happy about that because we're here for the safety of the community.
so you're saying you're not going on any calls?
No, I'm not saying, I'm saying that's what they told me to do.
You guys have put this place
Well,
to
well,
death.
Christ, man.
Hold on. We've got to move forward, and I understand your frustration, and I totally can rationalize what you're saying here. I guess I can't tell you why it happened, but me as the treasurer, I would think that it would be addressed to me now if I'm gonna be the one paying the bills.
Wait a second, you're not, she says she's
I
the
thought she was.
secretary treasurer.
Treasurer,
Well,
I'm gonna be the
he's going to
treasurer.
be trained, and in the meantime, I'm still working on this.
Well, I don't care who it is right now.
Well,
All I know is where did this stuff go?
Well, this is my concern, is because George and I have been sitting down every month, paying the bills that we are given. Okay, any bill we've been given, George and I have been paying. And so what happened in April was we had no meeting because we didn't have a board. So
So.
what happened?
Yeah, exactly. That means that you guys aren't responsible for the mail?
We
'cause you
couldn't
didn't
pay
have a meeting?
anything in
So you
April.
didn't keep the mail or what?
Well, I don't get the mail.
Okay. So this same bill came again in June, about June 15th or 16th. It was in the same ones he had yesterday.
It
And
was
they
dated the
replaced it.
17th, it wasn't that.
This is a whole different thing. This is the audit. This isn't the deposit. I'm talking about the deposit that would have covered us through July 1st. And that's what I tried to tell you guys early in the year. I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 40 years. I know how to do this, and evidently you don't. And you took it away from me and said that you guys have businesses, you understand this workman's comp
Well,
stuff.
Steve, if George has been putting these in your mailbox, then you must have seen it, or,
He put it in my mailbox on July 2nd.
no, I'm talking about the other ones. You said that they've been sending notices.
No, I saw him yesterday when he pulled them all out of the drawer because we went over the bills.
That was only 3 of them. And one was a duplicate.
Okay, and so they came in the middle of June, they're late July
Wait a
30th.
minute.
So what the heck?
If you got this the 2nd of July in your mailbox, that was the day it came in.
It really? Where did you put that on here, what
Well,
you
I
received and where your signature is?
I-
And by the way, this isn't it, it's the deposit, this is okay, this isn't due till July 21st.
but go on
It's
to
a
the-
deposit that
okay.
made our family.
But go on to the next step where you said you called and you got it okay, we have to get a check, and you were going to deliver
So
those.
yeah, exactly, I did call them, and you know what they said? You gotta send a check for $489, you guys are not covered till that check is postmarked, and we'll retroactive it. So when is this check gonna be postmarked, is what I wanna know. Are you gonna take it to the place tomorrow?
Yes.
You indicated to
Promise,
me
or I'll
that,
do it.
you said you would take it.
I'll do
Well,
it,
it's not my
I'll
job.
come down
I will
with the big
do it,
bills
but I
tomorrow.
wanna know who's
Deliver it.
responsible so this doesn't happen again in 6 months.
We've already got the recap together. We already know what we're gonna pay. Bills are in order exactly as the recap says. You and I both went through them yesterday.
You don't understand that we're already expired.
Okay,
We had a
well,
bill.
are you gonna beat it all to death all night, or are you gonna?
You know what,
move
George?
on?
I still want
I've had-
to, okay, I still want to
You know
know,
what?
Steve.
This is
where
about the
is-
safety of the community and
We
my
know.
firefighters, and you screwed it up, and I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm gonna give you guys a written resignation, and thank you very much. And you're gonna sit here and make excuses over this, it's just fucking ridiculous. It's been a real pleasure.
Fine.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, I would still like to know. what it is.
I'll go home and call the firefighters and let them know they're not covered under workman's comp myself.
So, I'm gonna tell you something, Gary. You're not running
You've already
this.
said enough.
Whatever.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Okay, if this was mailed out, the locking box did not go into effect until when? You're telling me, he's saying that there were,
I've never seen the bill. I don't understand where the bill
So-
went.
if the locking box went in when? May, June? When did it go in?
No, something like February.
I don't think, it did it
Or
go in?
January.
We bought it
The
in
locking
January,
box.
but I don't think it went into effect. Well, you were still.
I was still on the board, I was getting the mail.
I know, but I don't understand where the bill, I mean, if Steve got the bill,
Why do you say Steve got the bill? He's not the one who picks up the mail.
no, because,
He was not the one who was supposed to pay bills. He doesn't have,
no, what happens,
he
Jerry,
doesn't write
is.
checks.
No, but what happens, Jerry, is stuff comes in to the fire chief, okay, which we don't open. It goes into his box, and that's where they've been sending these things in care of the fire chief of this district. So what Steve does is when he gets something like that, he's supposed to put it in the folder on the desk for the bills to pay. And then we take those out every month, out of the board, at our board meeting, regular board meeting, and we sit down and we pay whatever we were handed. I've never seen that bill, so I don't understand where it's been, or we would have paid it. We have paid every single bill we've been handed ever since I've been on this board. There's never been a question of not paying one.
well, that's not true. During the time there was not a functioning board, bills were not being paid.
Well, I still
Of
got
course, because
special.
that was the
no,
rule. We
I got-
can't pay 'em.
You can't
That's
pay
right.
them, and I got special permission though from the commissioner to pay our two bills, Douglas Electric and UBW, so we wouldn't get a late fee.
Okay?
The
So,
other bills, we could not pay in April, but then where was it in May or June? I mean, we can only pay what we're given. And like I said, a lot of these things come to Steve because they're directed to him, and we don't see them until
But
he
if they're
presents
bills, the
them.
person collecting the mail should know it's a bill and not give it to Steve because he doesn't pay the bills. He
We
doesn't
can't.
write the checks.
We can't know it's a bill. We don't open his mail.
What if from here
illegal.
forward,
No,
that's
it's-
Legal. You cannot open his mail.
We
You
don't-
legally
and-
cannot open his
And so
mail.
some of these things, like,
It's up to him.
some of the things we get from him are in these envelopes that he gets in his box. But
So the insurance bills are
okay.
mailed
Take a look at
to
this
Steve?
one.
Is-
Please, take a look at this. It's a
Well, please
draft.
read it to us so we'll know.
Okay, it says Lookingglass Rural Fire District, 7173 Lookingglass Road. Doesn't say, Lookingglass Rural Fire District or Lookingglass Rural, So Steve has to fill this out.
But that's not the bill, he kept saying that's not the bill he was talking
we
about.
still haven't seen the bill.
That's a different one.
I still haven't seen the bill. And no, we were not allowed to pay anything in April, like I said. So there was about a 6-week time period for that.
Okay, but he said there was another one that the board received somewhere in mid-June.
So let me ask you this, if,
I haven't seen
I'm
it.
just gonna ask questions. If we're accountable for paying the bills to keep everything in tune, to decrease this ever happening again, why can't, it's not like we have a million vendors. Why can't we contact these people and say, make sure all bills will say accounts payable? Because then you know it's a bill.
It needs to
And
be,
and I don't have a problem contacting these people and say, look, I have no problem paying you, but to help you, you need to help me, and I need everyone to say Lookingglass Rural Fire Department District, attention, accounts payable. Because then we know exactly that it's a bill. And that would delete anybody, because if it's something comes to me, and if it's a bill, nobody knows.
no,
And
we
if
don't.
and therefore, we just delete all that problem, because, I mean,
Well, here's the other problem. The things that should be addressed to the district, we're going to Steve. He's holding on to the things, leaves a lot of things, like we have a number of insurance bills that have come through here that were,
You took it away from you, Japan.
you're confusing two
No.
different issues.
No,
What I'm making a point here is, when earlier this year, he waited until the last moment and said, I've got a bill here. That was originally addressed to the fire district. We didn't get it because it went with his name on it, so it went in his slot.
Okay, so everything's his fault, so you better quit.
Nobody's
that.
saying everything is his fault. Why are you trying to make that sound like that?
Because that's what it sounds like you want to do.
I don't
I mean,
think.
somebody can't explain something without being accused of some nefarious thing here?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you're accusing him.
No, I'm not, I'm explaining something. How is that accusing when you're explaining something? How do you know it's not true? Or you think I'm gonna sit up here
Does
and make
anybody
an
know what you're
accusation?
saying is true?
well, all I'm saying is the bill never got to us or it would have been paid. Pure and simple. There is not one single bill we've been handed that we have not paid. Not one.
And as a board member, I'll apologize, because I guess I have a little ownership in it, but I think if we do get a hold of all the vendors, anybody that wants to be paid, it's gotta say accounts payable, so then it comes right into my box, and then I can submit it to the board to be paid. I mean, that would delete this. I hate to see Steve leave. I like Steve a lot. I think he brings, his knowledge is phenomenal, and I think just talking to him as little as I do, I think he does a really good job. I credit him for that. It's just too bad that, he got upset, because I understand it's very passionate to him. I understand the safety of his people means a ton to him. I understand that. I have employees, and I understand, in the fact of, they put their lives in danger for us. I thank them very much. Hopefully I can talk to him, and hopefully he won't resign. I think his knowledge is phenomenal. So we just take this out of his hands, put it to anything he wants paid, just make sure it says accounts payable, and then we pay it and we move on. I mean, I understand his point, I understand Steve's point, I understand everybody out there that's frustrated, but, you can sit there and fight with your wife all day long, but somewhere there's gotta be a compromise. My opinion, my wife, your husband maybe, but there's gotta be a compromise, and it's not done through getting upset. That doesn't fix anything.
Well, I'm not gonna know what he's going through.
I
No,
understand.
personally.
Okay.
I don't know whether you know or not, but I am a retired fire chief out of this department.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, and
So I know what it's.
Enough of this. Let's move on and do something constructive here. All we're doing is bickering. Not gonna happen here,
We
okay?
need to vote to pay the bills.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to pay the bills. Need a second?
I second it.
Oh, any comments from the audience? Lisa? Hearing none, we're gonna vote to pay the bills.
Excuse me, I would like to put on record that as of this date right now, the workman's comp has not been paid. For the
It will be
record.
It will be as
I'm
soon as
talking
we...
right now,
Okay.
because in 30 minutes from now, there can be one hell of a structure fire.
We realize that.
No, I don't think you do, Risa.
I think I do, Gary. I think I understand it perfectly well.
Are
Don't
you gonna
tell
go out
me
and
I
set
don't
it? Is that
care.
what I understand you're saying?
Don't you even go there, mister.
What do you mean, you just said, in 1
I
hour,
said there
there
could
will
be.
be one hell of a structure fire.
Or there
That's
could be
what
a
you
hell of an
just said.
accident. That's right, I did.
He said there could be.
No, he did not.
He did,
Yes, I
he did,
did.
George, he did. He said it could be. That was said.
Okay. Excuse me, Gary, I'm sorry.
You're excused.
Is there any, with car insurance, there's like a 30-day
Grace,
grace period. I don't know if it's the same with workman's comp.
we will find out tomorrow.
I have
What
a question.
Steve just told me yesterday was, as soon as we make the bills payable tomorrow, if he writes the checks down to Umpqua Insurance Agency, it will be posted back and brought back to the first. And everything will be okay. That's what he told me when we were doing the recap.
Okay.
So,
Who's gonna deliver it to the post office?
I'm delivering it to Umpqua Insurance Company. We'll meet in the morning. I'm off tomorrow.
screaming and yelling going on for no reason at all. Go ahead, Carol.
No, I had another question, but that's okay.
It doesn't relate to what we're going.
Well, it did, you were talking, you just clarified it by saying it needed to go to Umpqua. What I was gonna say is,
Right,
if it needed,
that-
what I was gonna say, if it needed to be postmarked, if you wrote a check tonight, I could take it in and postmark it at my office. But if you take it to Umpqua, that's.
We don't need to do that, we're gonna hand deliver it.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I would see Rick Holland.
Okay. He's the one at the.
He'd be the agent
Umpqua
to see,
Insurance?
yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
That's what Steve and I had a meeting on yesterday.
He can help you with it, Robert.
Pardon?
If there's any problems over it, he can help you.
Cool, okay. Yeah, I'll get justification, not saying it's ever gonna be late again. I believe in being ahead of time. But, and I'm not saying, I don't know why it didn't, so I'm not gonna make any excuses or anything like that. But if I get the bill, I'll pay it. I do all my own finances at home, just because I don't like to be behind the
It's a
table.
lengthy process, unfortunately.
To pay the bill?
To pay that one, it's a formula that has to be figured, it's based on hours worked and so on.
Okay,
It's-
but they say, they give me the bill, they say this is what you owe.
They'll send it to you and they'll help
Or
you
they
through
do
the
the, okay,
formula.
cool. And I'll talk to him about making the two accounts payable too.
I put this one in his box quite some time ago.
Okay, we're done with this, right?
Right. So,
Yep.
are we gonna, we've already gone through the list of what we're gonna pay?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor of paying the bills?
Aye.
Alright,
Aye. Communications.
Well, Hank's not here, so.
And I guess we're not gonna have a chief's report. New business, letter to Bob Russell, return of all district documents and contracts. We need to put the letter together to him so that we can get back what he took off with when he left.
do we have, I'm there
He had
again.
all major documents as far as the agreement with the attorney, Susan Shepherd, although we did discover the letter from Susan Shepherd.
I got her contract, yes.
Yeah. So the communications that were going on, we need to get those from Bob, from Bob Russell.
And that's because you said the attorney had sent all the communications to Bob and not to
Mhm.
you.
Up
Is that
until-
correct?
Correct.
Including the last bill, which was mailed to him April 30th, and he resigned March 30th. So, yeah,
And the reason I'm
blame
not,
us for a lot of things, but we can't be held responsible when we don't even get the bill until after, when the way we found out that she was owed any additional money was when she started dunning us for additional monies.
well, the reason I'm writing to Bob and not to the attorney is because if I asked her to send us the copies, she'd charge us again.
We've
We're not
already,
doing that.
we've already paid for one that we didn't get.
That's exactly right.
So, that's that. Okay, anyone have anything for the good of the order?
I think that issue brings up a question about when, anytime there's a change in board members, if somebody has been responsible for receiving something or getting emails or whatever, is there a procedure for notifying vendors, consultants, lawyers, accountants, whatever, that there has been a change in personnel?
We made sure that Arlen Akins was notified that he resigned, and Susan Shepherd.
So the bill was sent to Bob after the lawyer was notified that he resigned?
Yes.
Then you should be able to contact her, and it was her mistake. There should not be any charge made to the district for resending of any bills.
We're gonna try writing to Bob
'Cause,
first.
well, who knows how long that's gonna take if you'll ever get anything from Bob. If the lawyer made the mistake, it's that person's responsibility to rebill correctly.
Well, not only that, but we wanted the report that we still haven't received.
True.
Yeah, so she or he or whoever sent it to the wrong person, that's their mistake.
But she bills if they even ask for it.
It was her mistake. You can let her know. It's her, is that correct?
Yes.
You can let her know it was her mistake. She should not be billing the district for resending any correspondence or bills. That was her mistake, and she needs to own up to that.
Well, she's difficult.
How much did she
Well-
charge to send this bill? Because if we contact her again, she could be billing you to find out why.
Exactly.
Instead of just saying, listen, man, it was your, I'm not contacting you, I'm just telling you that was your mistake, I don't think this is ethical business. I'll go ahead and make this payment. And if it was me, I would say, geez, maybe this person's got a point.
Well, you know, perhaps you can contact the, what's that organization, SDAO or whatever it is?
Well, that's what we're going to
now,
do. We have,
and ask them, because they may be able to contact them for you
well, we have
and
a
say, we
luncheon.
expect you to resend it
Right.
because you made a mistake.
We have a luncheon date coming up with Dave Pinnacook, and we're
Okay.
going to bring up these very questions.
Okay.
Okay, any additional comments for the good of the order? Public questions and answers, I think we pretty much covered that, but anybody else have any
I
questions?
do, George.
Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, tonight when you elected officers, you voted Robert as vice chair
Yes.
and Risa as secretary treasurer.
Mhm.
And now Robert's saying he's the treasurer, he's gonna be taking over the thing.
Well, he's been trying to learn.
Well, I understand that, but is he the treasurer or are you the treasurer?
I am at the moment.
And what are your qualifications to be able to do this?
I don't know, 25 years running a business. A master's degree, several undergraduate degrees. What are yours?
I'm not doing it, I don't have to do it.
Okay.
Did you have certified treasurer on your ward?
Certified?
Yes, certified.
No, no.
Well, then why are you?
We didn't have the problems you're having either, so, you know.
Well,
You know.
that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
not real good.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, am I correct? Robert's the vice chair and Reese is the secretary
Well,
treasurer?
in the law, okay, according to the ORS's,
Yes or no?
I already answered it, and I'm explaining it now. In the law, according to the ORS's, if you don't have enough board members to be each exact person on the board assigned a
Which
specific,
you do.
then, no, we don't, we need 5. And the problem then, it's not a problem, but they request in the ORS's that you become secretary treasurer. It becomes a combined, thing.
Which we did for years.
Right, and so as soon as we get our 5th person, which we're hoping to get, then Robert can become treasurer, and that'll just be.
I'm learning in the meantime, so when I
Yeah.
step into it, these questions I won't have to ask again. I'll go into this. I already have a concept of business, a very good concept in my
Well,
opinion.
I'm not doubting you
Yeah,
at all, but
yeah.
the way
Well,
you
what
were
do
reading the
you,
bills and everything as a treasurer's report and everything, and Reese was the treasurer, that's why I
Okay.
was confused.
Learning process.
Right,
I want to ask you a question. What do you consider is the qualifications for a board president or a treasurer?
I don't know.
Well, then why are you bringing it up as if you?
Well, it was brought up when I was up there on that end and questioned quite heavily
By whom?
by your leader, Mr. Russell, and you, and Ford Swager.
I think you're picking things out of the air
No, I'm
here.
not.
I think we need to adjourn.
Just clarification, Robert, weren't you the treasurer last month?
I was nominated, and it's in the meeting.
Yeah, so
right.
Yes.
I had the same question Gary had, but my understanding, or the way I interpreted it, is that you were reading the report because it was a report you had written on the basis of being the treasurer last month. So I just interpreted it that way, but I also agreed that in the future, Reese is the treasurer, and I would expect her to be reading the report.
Right, until we can, like I said, once we get a 5th board member and we can give everybody assignments, like I said, the ORS says it's secretary treasurer.
So you would have to,
Right, and
have
I'm
a
training
new
him. in-
nomination of
yeah,
officers.
I'm training him in the meantime, and he
Yeah.
has to learn it, so.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn the meeting tonight?
I'll second it. We're adjourned.